Testing, testing, one, two, three. Testing, testing, one, two, three. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, welcome to module 4.4, how to use conference calls to deliver and create intimacy in your group. So remember, we've already discussed how to use hot seats and how to prepare for hot seats and how to hold that space for your halftime calls. But I just want to bring this visual back, which is it's not just you holding the space. Ultimately, we're creating an environment where everyone is holding space for this person who is in the middle. No matter where they are in the country or in the world, they can use their energetic presence to create a safe space for this individual. And there's something beautiful about conference lines, because when you're on a conference line, there's no visual, right? And that person who's in the hot seat doesn't even know visually who is all there. And so that visual distraction, our eyes distract us so often, it's gone away. Now you may have, each individual may have some distractions at home or whatever environment that they're in, but it's very beautiful to just be listening to someone with your ears and with your body and with your entire presence. And so the ultimate goal of a hot seat is to create that space. And that's why I like using the conference call as a different modality for the actual hot seats, because all the visual distractions that can occur actually evaporate. And so the technology we use is freeconferencecall.com. And I'll jump over there really quickly. Free conference call. This is me actually logged in. Let me go to a different browser really quick. So I don't want to log out of that. I don't know my password. Freeconferencecall.com. Come on, internet. So this is what it looks like when you go. It's absolutely free. You just put in your email address and create a password, and then they give you a phone number, a conference line that you can use for your halftime calls or hot seats. When you log in, this is what it actually looks like. They give you a dial-in number, an access number, and this is the 10-digit number that you'll give to your attendees plus this number. And then you'll have a host pin that you'll use to initiate your recording. Okay. So as you can see, account summary, $0 per month. And then my next bill date for $0 a month is March 13th. I've had this conference line for quite some time now. So this is where you want to start. Now, I have been getting some feedback that some mobile providers like T-Mobile are now charging like 1 cent a minute to be on a conference line. At the end of the day, for a 60-minute call, that's 60 cents, and it's $7.20 over the course of a year. So please inform your group or test it out. Inform your members that that's not something that they should heckle about. And if you have to pay the $7.20 because it's that big of an issue, then go ahead and pay it. But this is what I've found, and this technology has been simple and useful for quite some time. So what happens when we get into free conference call, when we start a conference call, I dial in here. So do all the attendees. All the attendees also put in this access code to enter the room. And then I dial, as the host, I dial star to let the system know that I am the host. From there, they ask me for my host pin, which is this, and I use that to become the host. Then from there, I'm the host now. what I like to do is I like to welcome everybody, greet, say hello, who's here. I also have people do that, check in via the Facebook group as well. And because I like to know who's in the room when I'm leading a halftime call or a hot seat. Then I press *8 4 times. I don't know if there's another way around this, but the entry times are on, exit times are off, entry times are off, exit times are on. You got to press it 4 times to get entry chimes off and exit chimes off, right? You don't want those happening in the middle of a hot seat. Then from there, I press *5 to mute everyone. Then I start the recording. I press *9 to start the recording. And then I think they ask you to press 1 to initiate. And then I tell everyone that they can press *6 to unmute themselves and jump in a hot seat or give feedback after they've heard somebody initially step into a hot seat. Now, I want to share with you this cool feature that I've discovered that you can use on your mobile phone to mitigate or make all of this easier, automate some of this. So you can see that the conference line numbers here on your cell phone, you can actually enter commas in phone numbers. And those commas are essentially pauses. So here's the 10-digit number, a comma, which is a pause, then the access code, hashtag, then another pause, then star to let it know that I'm the host, comma, then 5450 to become the host, hashtag, right? So you can actually, as the host of the call, you can put in the number as this, and your phone will automatically dial it in this particular way. You probably even add in the *5s, the *8, 4 *8s, and *9s. You can test it out and see if you can do the entire string. I typically use this particular string here, and it's worked like gold for me. So you definitely want to go get that free conference line set up. You will encourage your members to store this number and this access code in a similar format. You can actually send it to them as this up to right here, right? So that they can just call in when they're on the road. They don't have to go dig for this access code, that their phone automatically dials it for them. That can be part of your orientation process. And you'll be set up from there. You can use other conference lines like GoToMeeting or Zoom. I think those have call-in features as well. But this one is worked and it's free. And test out whatever one is going to work best for you. In addition to that, you want to know what all the commands are. I typically have these printed out near wherever I take the call. So this printout is actually near my desk, so that if I ever need any of these commands, I can use them in the middle of a hot seat. But pretty much the commands are simple. Once you've done these initial steps, it's really allowing your members to unmute themselves via *6. If you have to press *5 to mute everybody again because somebody's baby is crying in the background or somebody's in a loud place, then you can use a *5 to mute everyone again. And then I think you have to press *9 to end the recording. Otherwise, I think it records indefinitely or something like that. So the commands are pretty easy. I encourage you to print these out, whatever system you use, print out the commands so you have them on deck if you need them. And that one is pretty straightforward and simple. It should be easy to set up. It's just your email address and a password, and it'll give you your conference line and you'll be good to go. All right. So that is it for module 4.4. Now we're going to go to module 4.5, and this is how to automate reminders via email marketing. And email marketing, my email marketing system is Infusionsoft. You can also use MailChimp, Aweber, ActiveCampaign. There's you can use, what's the other one? Entreport. There's all kinds of systems that you can use to automate this process. And so this is what the sequence looks like in Infusionsoft. And as you can see, it's just a series of emails that go out, and they have timers that initiate when that email goes out to the group. And I've named the emails one day after the huddle, day 7, day 14, day 14 twice, because I want to give them a reminder about the halftime call in the morning and one after they get off work to remind them about the halftime call. Then after the halftime call is the halftime replay. Then it's a countdown, which is 9 days until our next group meeting, 6 days left, 4 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left, and then 0 days left. This is kind of the last email saying we're about to start and go live in a second. Okay, so let me just show you what that looks like really quickly in Infusionsoft. Oops, boom. So I go to my campaign builder here, and it's going to be called Focus Group Reminders. Search. Yeah, focus group, goal, webinar registration reminders. So that's what I've named mine. And the exact same sequence that I just showed you is actually right here. Existing member reminder sequence, actual dates. So essentially, this is the screenshot of the image I just showed you right here. And members just follow, it just follows the sequence. I'm actually going to give you the text for these reminders, and you can edit it and change it according to what you want. But I'll give you an example. For bracket the focus group day 1, find the first domino and webinar replay. So this is just, hey, whether you were there or not, set your new goal. This is a link to the online app. Go to masterminds.org and just reminding them, go set that goal. That's one of the people's biggest obstacles when it comes to actually achieving a goal, is that they don't set one. And so whether they were there or not, you want to remind them to set that goal. We did the Google Calendar earlier. Here is an example of the XML links, the iCal links, and the HTML links that they can use to add all of these calls into their Google, whatever calendar system that they use. Day 7. So we give them a break. We let them get going on their goal, so we're not emailing them too much. You want to send out reminders that are just enough. So you can see that, day 1, day 7, day 14. So the first 2 weeks of the month, you kind of let people be and let them motivate themselves and get going. Here, I've already given you feedback on the setup of your goal in Coach Chat. Most goals are set up to fail before they even begin. That's why I give you feedback in Coach Chat right away. Now it's your turn to give me a progress update there. So this is really just encouraging them to go into Coach Chat and update me on where they are at. And you might want to put this email in relationship to when you're going to go in Coach Chat. So, hey, I'll be in there at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So make sure that you go and let me know where you're up to so I can give you good feedback, right? So that's there. Then day 14, morning, right? This is set up for the halftime call. It's halftime. Halftime is time to reflect, re-energize, and re-strategize. Our halftime call, not a webinar, is tonight and then the date auto populates based on Infusionsoft field that I have, and those links go. Here are some questions to consider. What have I learned so far? What was my cost great enough to activate me? Have I found an accountability partner yet? If not, who could it be? Am I replicating my positive and negative patterns from previous months? So this is just an example of things that you can write, and you can change the text to be whatever you want. This is right before the halftime call in the evening. This is just like, look, here's the number, call in, right? Straightforward. Starting in 60 minutes, go get food. Especially if it's the evening, you want to remind them to get food, okay? Then after the halftime call, you'll get the replay link. And I'll show you this, freeconferencecall.com. The replay link comes via email to your account, but I want to see, I think I should be able to get it from here. Buy more international numbers, view playback number, toll free, history and recordings. It's all the way at the bottom. I'm not sure why. So recording options. So here is a halftime call, 118. This link should take me, share. I want to recording playback, so I'll click there. And then this link here is the recording link. So I will take that link right there and I will plug that into the halftime recording link right here. Bam. And I'll send that to them the day after the halftime call. Okay. So there's that. And then we give them some more space and time. 9 days until the call, 6 days, 4 days until it's actually the webinar, 2 days, 1 day. Just make sure you register via Webinar Jam or whatever platform you're using. You also have them upload their highlights to the Facebook group because you'll use that to celebrate them going forward. So you give an example. A focus group 1 day until our due date, post pics on Facebook. So this is how we connect with people via email throughout the month. And each month, all we do is we go in and we reset these dates. So next month, it might be it actually, because February and March are positioned the same because February has 28 days, all we'll have to do is change this first day, month to 3 on all of these. And then republish this campaign and then add everybody back to this sequence. So people are going through this sequence now, but after our next team huddle, we simply go in and we change the dates here to trigger these emails. We republish this Infusionsoft sequence, we republish it, and then we go to our contacts and we add everybody who's in the focus group back into this sequence so that it starts over. So we use the same sequence every single month to get people moving. And they're just reminders. You don't have to tell stories and everything. These are just really just nudges to stay in people's lives and keep reminding them of who they want to be and what they need to do to become who they want to be. So very straightforward. That's how it works. I'm going to give you all the text for these emails so that you can use the exact same sequence if you want. But if you want to add your flavor and your twist to it, that's perfectly fine as well. I think you should. So they're not identical, but they should be related to your group and what your group is up to, the language you use, your tone of voice, the way you lovingly support them. All that should be integrated into your monthly reminder sequence. So that's how that works. Pretty simple, right? So go ahead and take the emails that I've included below and integrate them into your reminder sequence so that people stay up to date on what they need to be doing in relationship to their goal, and you stay present in their lives even when they're not showing up for themselves. Okay, cool. So that ends this module. So next, so now we're going to go into module 4.6, how to get them to own and lead the private Facebook group. Okay, so each mastermind that starts should have a private Facebook group. Facebook is just where people are at, and it's oftentimes they go there for distraction. And so if they're going to be there for distraction, we want them to have some positive progress while they're there by also being there ourselves. So the Mastermind app, right, the online app, is for specific questions, comments, and updates related to their goal, to get feedback from you, the coach, right? The Facebook group, and you can copy this text for your orientation or for your first call, so that people know what to use the different spaces for. The Facebook group is for general questions, help, crowdsource feedback, and to share progress, right? To the collective, to the entire group. And then the halftime call is to get coached by you and the group on a specific issue, struggle, or block that they're having. So you have to educate people on what the various spaces are for. We're only going we are the only reason we create the Facebook group is because that's where a lot of people spend their time. And so again, yes, we just want some good to happen. Well, if they are there procrastinating and doing things that aren't relevant to creating the life that they ultimately want, we actually want to do some good while they're there. If I had it my way, all of it would be in our app, right? And you can see based on what I showed you that we have the feed there, but we have to follow people's behavior and go where they are. And so that's why we create the private Facebook group. So you want to educate people on what to use the different spaces for, okay? Now, the private Facebook group, it's like I said, Facebook is often a distraction for doers. So it's okay if people aren't posting except for around huddles and halftimes, right? The goal of your private Facebook group is not for it to be cracking in there, for people to be posting every single day, right? Because a lot of people who post every single day aren't making any moves on their goals, right? Unless their goal is to post every single day. So it's okay if your Facebook group is quiet in between halftime calls and huddles. That's perfectly fine. Your more important conversations with them will be in coach chat on the online app. And then I'll let you know that for me as a businessman, 80% of my Facebook use is Facebook ads now, right? It's not for Facebook personal. I'm using it to create a larger audience and a larger awareness of what we're up to in the world. And so if you can't translate your following into financial results, then you got to let Facebook go as a primary source of a primary place that you go to when you log into any web browser. Right? If it's not serving you in that way, we got to build your business. It may feel good to get a few likes here and there, but if it's not helping you actually increase your customers and increase your income, then we got to cut it down to as minimal as possible. So for me, my primary use of Facebook is Facebook ads and to go check in on what's going on in our private Facebook group. And the other 20% is personal. A lot of people have it the other way. 80% is all personal, and then they do 20% for business. Remember the 80-20 rule. We got to do what's actually going to make a difference. So it's very easy to set up a private Facebook group. I probably don't even need to show you, but it's down here hidden, and you just select group, create a group. You name it. You add at least one person, one of your founding members or somebody who you know is a shoe-in for the group. And then you can call it a closed group. Typically, I like to do secret group. Only members can find the group and see posts, right? Closed group, I think, is closed. They have to ask for permission to be in. So I typically like to do secret group. And then you create. And then you simply, from there, focus group, mastermind. Boom. From there, you simply put a header up here. You start inviting members simply by entering their email address, or if they're already your friend, you can actually just add them in this way by clicking, and that's how it unfolds. And then from there, you can see that I post occasionally, but most of the posts are from members, sharing challenges, sharing resources, sharing successes. This is what it's all about. And so this is how we use our Facebook group. Let me see. I do think I have some language around the primary intention. Yeah, but you can see it even gets cut off by Facebook in the description. So it doesn't matter. This group type is getting things done. So you'll let the group take over this. This is not for you to manage. Your primary spaces are going to be the webinar, the halftime call, and coach chat. That's where you shine the most. You do not have to be the celebrity of your Facebook group, okay? But it's a space for them to connect and collaborate, all right? So that is it for this module, and we will go on to the next one. So now we are on module 4.7, how to set up your webinar for the entire year. And so I want to give you some quick statistics that I found about the power of webinar. There's several of them, so bear with me for 1 second. So one, over 60% of marketers are using webinars as part of their content marketing programs. On a scale of 1 to 5, email ranked 4.46 and was a top tool for promotion of webinars, scoring a 2.77 out of 5 was social media as the second most widely used promotional tool for webinars. I like Facebook ads and email as my primary sources of marketing for webinars, but we're not talking about webinars in context of marketing for you right now. I do think that it is the most powerful tool, and this is why the course is structured in this way, where we are actually going to market to a webinar to get people in your group. But I just want you to know the statistics of webinars and why they're so powerful. 3 is the magic number in terms of email campaigns deployed per webinar. Best practices suggest 3 weeks of promotion prior to a webinar. As you know, the email campaign that I have set up for you is actually 2 weeks long. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best days to host a webinar. And this is a source from Ready Talk. The average webinar attendance is 40 to 50% of registrants. Just because you have 200 people sign up doesn't mean that 200 people are going to be there. And there's things you can do in between the actual registration and the actual webinar that you can use to actually increase your show up rate, right? So this is just the power of webinars, because you're going to use webinars in two places: one as a marketing tool and one as a way to facilitate your group. Okay, they met you through a webinar. In many cases, they'll have met you through a webinar, the webinar that you did to sell them. And so that's going to be the same modality that we use to educate and hold space and connect with them going forward. The average viewership per webcast is 53 minutes. So if you have a lot of content and you're trying to throw the whole kitchen sink at them, you may want to figure out what you can cut back, because a lot of people's attention span ends on webinars around 53 minutes. Polls are only used 34% of the time during a webinar. The average cost of conducting a webinar is between $100 and $3,000. That's a huge average. I don't know how they consider that an average, depending on promotion and technology costs. I'll spend anywhere from about $300 to $500 in Facebook ads for a webinar, where I will be selling something primarily for $1,000 to $2,000. Based on a survey we conducted with our clients, between 20% and 40% of webinar attendees turned into qualified leads. So qualified leads aren't customers, right? But qualified means that they really warmed up quickly to you because they connected with you through this technology that is as close to human as possible, right? As close to being in the office with you as possible. 11 of the lead generation tactics available, webinars are the second most effective type of premium content for marketers. So, a lot of people are doing downloads and online courses. And keep in mind that, you have 200 people or 100 people sign up and for a webinar, only 5 people end up buying, but now you got 95 new leads that you can cultivate. Even though they maybe only half of them showed up, you have 5 new customers, 45 warm leads, and then 50 other people who are still kind of cold, but at least they're interested in what it is you have to offer. So webinars are powerful in that way. And then finally, 48% of people said that webinars were least enjoyable when there was a poor presenter. So this is why the storytelling, your personal narrative, the imagery, the humor, doing some sort of activity to get them a quick result. This is why we have to give them essentially our best stuff on the webinar so that they can get the rest. So we have to give them our best 10% so that they actually want to buy the remaining 90% of what we have to offer, right? So don't hold back on your webinar. Hold back by not giving them everything, right? You want them to buy something, but you want to give them that thing that's going to rock their world and at least whet their appetite so that they actually want to buy the whole meal from you, okay? So these are just some statistics about webinars that I thought you should be aware of. So right now I want to share with you Webinar Jam, the technology that we use for our webinars. And you can see this is the 2017 focus group laid out for the entire year. All of our webinars are scheduled, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So here's Webinar Jam. Here's Webinar Jam, and here is the 2017 focus group. I'm not going to edit that because that is already in place. I'll just go to new webinar. And it's very simple. Basic configuration, test webinar, test mastermind, webinar title. I think this is what shows up on the menu. Description, a 12-month accountability group. Webinar English. Don't list this webinar. Save. Webinar schedule. We're going to do a schedule it. We're going to schedule 2. We're going to do one on March 1st at 9 p.m. Boom, Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll add. Then we'll do another one on April 5th, first Wednesday. 9 p.m. Whoops. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, add. So those are in there now. I click save. We use jam sessions. This is going to expire in April. So a webinar jam is updated to jam sessions. Click save, proceed to step 2, presenter admins. So what I'll do is I'll add my name. Julian Gordon speaking. I'll add a photo. Back, Dropbox. Boom, photo there. Add as presenter. Boom, I show up there. You can also add somebody who's not an active speaker and simply uncheck that if somebody who's going to be supporting you. So that's step 2, registration. You want to create a landing page similar to this. So you select the design, then you customize it. So type how to be financially free. Button, register now. I can change the background image. I'm asking for their first name and email address, and from there I can preview this page. Actually, I need to save it first, and I need to select the background image. So they give you some, but the ones that they give you may not fit. Let me see if I can just confirm that without even showing up. Image selected successfully. Save. Boom. I'm actually going to go back to registration. Oh, no, I just click here. And now I want to preview it. Boom. So that's the image. I said, how to be financially free, register. That'll pop up this, the registration box where they put in their name and email address. And then that's, you see your picture here. But there's other templates you can use here that add more information like bullet points, etc. Actually, I can preview this for you. So there's this one. You can add bullet points to your webinar, your photos there, countdown timer, a bigger heading, register now. This person has several sessions that they're offering, so you'll be able to choose that once you click the register now button. So you get to pick what template works best for you, okay? So proceed, notifications. Notifications are, you'll set up emails. We'll use their server. We'll put sender name Julian Gordon, sender email address julian@masterminds.org. Proceed. And then they have some default ones, which are the welcome message and I think welcome. So add email, confirmation, your webinar link, and then you can edit this copy here. You can edit that copy. The description automatically gets pre-populated. The title gets pre-populated, the date and time, etc. The link gets pre-populated by them, right? So you don't have to do anything, but if you want to add an image of you at the bottom or something like that, you can integrate that. So that email is in. Pre-webinar reminders. So I'm going to add an email. I'm going to say I want this to go out 36 hours before your upcoming webinar, right? Reminder, save. Then I can do another one, add an email, and I'm going to do this one 1 hour before the webinar, okay? It may be the exact same email, right? And then post-webinar, last minute reminder, 15 minutes. See, it changed from hours to minutes. So I might do that one 15 minutes before. And that one says we're about to start. And then post-webinar email, if I'm sending them a replay, I'll send this maybe if the webinar was at 9 p.m., I might send this 12 hours later. And then I'll send it to all registrants. I can send it to those who attended only, etc. Or you can set up several ones based on their actual behavior. And then webinar replay, and the replay link automatically gets populated there. So those are the notifications. I save that. Boom, we're set there. Integrations. The next thing is integrations, and you want to integrate this with your email autoresponder. So you'll simply come here. I would select something like Infusionsoft. I'll do simple integration, and most autoresponders have some sort of HTML code that represents them. I will do guide to graduation interest. I'm just going to show you. So this is a form on my website. So what I would do is for Infusionsoft, for them to go into this campaign afterwards, they don't need a campaign because Webinar Jam already has the reminder sequences, but I'm just showing you this for the sake of the code. This HTML code here, unstyled, I just simply select that. Usually it starts with bracket form. I select that and I paste that here, and boom, there we go. So they will be entered into, they will be set up as having filled out that form when they register for the webinar. So they're not only will they be in the Webinar Jam reminder sequence, they will be set up as having filled out this form, which I can start them in a separate campaign afterwards, my follow-up campaign, etc. Okay, so that's done. You can also track with Facebook ads here and enter your Facebook pixel. Next is thank you. So this is the page right after they register. So you can put a video from you, say, hey, thank you so much for registering for my webinar. I'm so excited to see you. A couple things I want to give you right away, even before the webinar, that I know are going to add huge value for you. Make sure you get dinner, etc. So you can go upload that to YouTube and just put the video link there. Right, so that's there. You can also add more custom text below. Thanks for registering. Save. Okay, and you can add a survey if you want to get more information from your clients ahead of the actual webinar. So, is your business? Do you just have an idea? Are you making did you make $10,000 in the past 3 months? Did you make over $10,000 in the last 3 months? Are you selling a product? Are you selling a service? Because this actually helps you customize the webinar. And actually, what are your questions? Do you have any questions in advance that you know you want me to address? That's a great one to ask, because then it allows you to customize the content to meet their actual needs. So you can add the survey here. I'll just say survey registrants, yes. I'm going to do a poll. Whoops. Type your survey headline. Help me help you. In an add module. Your question, do you have a product or service based business? Bam, product, service, save. Okay, now I can preview the thank you. So the video I have is here. Thank you for registering. It auto plays. Thank you for registering. Help me help you. Bam, they submit the survey, and that's there. Okay, so back here, I'm gonna close that out. Back here, next is, so that's a thank you page. Live, you can add in polls, similar polls to the live webinar if you want to, but I really want you to stay focused on your content. So I don't really do too much with this page except for offers. So you can create an offer, whatever product that you're selling, you can actually create an offer. So my stuff, my mastermind, this is for your sales webinar though, right? My mastermind group, offer headline, join my mastermind group, upload an image. I probably don't have an image on it. I'll put my face for now. Text above, only 12 spots left. Add to cart, join now. Then you'll put your shopping cart link, whatever that is for you, buy.com. You can broadcast real-time sales. You can open in a new tab. You can apply scarcity. So scarcity would be 12, right? 12 spots left. You want to apply urgency, meaning that if they're going to get a special, they have to get it before midnight. and midnight is 2 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes away from the end, right? So bam, save changes. And so now you can pop that in the chat area during your webinar, okay? Next is enable replay. You can enable it. I like to enable it until the shopping cart closes. So I'll enable a replay. It's going to ask me how long. Oh, expiration. Yeah, expiration. I want it to expire. My shopping cart is going to close, let's say, the next day at midnight. So if I end at 10 p.m., then 26 hours, right? It's going to expire in 26 hours. And so there's other questions they ask you here. You can hide social media buttons, etc. Monetization, you don't have to worry about that. If you're not charging for this webinar, you could track sales from your pre-configured offers, but that should also go into whatever shopping cart you're using. And then you're finished. Bam. So now our test webinar is here. You click here to, this is the link that you send out to your email list, right? And that's how they register. You send this to them and they will register. The registration will come like this, and the pop-up will be here. Select date first, bam, 9 p.m. and they register, and then they go to your thank you page. Come on. Uh-oh. So we'll come back to that. But your presenter link is going to be here. So this is your live room presenter link, and it's different than the registration link. And it'll take you through this process to get you set up for your webinar. So you want to follow that. I'm actually using Webinar Jam right now, so I don't want to set up be on two webinars at the same time. I don't even know if that's possible. So I'm going to stop here with that, but you just follow the steps there. Here is the thank you page after registering right here, right? This is the thank you page that we showed you, okay? So that is Webinar Jam. You also get analytics here, and you'll select your webinar. Let me see, Monetize Masterminds webinar number 3, Friday, January 27th. I'll go here, and it'll show me various analytics, how many unique visitors, what my conversion rates were, about less than 10%, live attendees, and then replays, right? Replays. And then inside my webinar, my survey results are here as well. I can see what occurred, right? I can see what occurred. Actually, let me choose a better one for you with more numbers. 2, select a session, go. So this was 364 visitors, 48 attendees, 13%, 23, about half attended live, and then there was a replay. About half of them filled out the survey results. So I got some information from them in advance of the webinar, which allowed me to customize the content for them, right? Then inside my webinar, I could see that the webinar, it actually went really, really long, longer than I'm supposed to go. But I was just going in, and I could see how many people stayed live, where the peak was, average time on the webinar, etc. Most people in webinars, they assume that they'll be there for about an hour, okay? And then I can download the chat history from the webinar as well. I didn't set up monetization, but I use a different shopping cart than a Webinar Jam, so there's nothing there. Notifications, I can see how many people opened up each email and how many people clicked, right? And then finally, I can see all of my attendees. Not only will I see them in Infusionsoft, I can also see them here, their email address, did they attend, how long they were there, etc. So that's the analytics, which are really powerful for Webinar Jam. So this is the tool that we use, but there's all kinds of options out there, from Webinar Jam to Zoom to GoToMeeting. You could use a Google Hangout even without Webinar Jam. There's just tons of things that you can use. And to get you started, we will actually allow you to use our Webinar Jam account until you start making money. So that costs $497 a year. If you go to Webinar Jam webinarjam.com. I think they are charging $497 a year now. And you can use ours until you start making some money. Actually, it's logging me straight back in. So you can use ours until you start making money on web with your mastermind. We are trying to get you to in the black as quickly as possible. And so this is one way that we can help you by saving you on technology cost. All right. So that is the end of module 4.7. And we have one more module on coming up. Okay, this is module 4.8, how to create a landing page for your mastermind group. So the beautiful thing is that we do 80% of the work for you, or actually you did 80% of the work for yourself without even knowing that you were doing the work. And I will give you an example. So as you were filling in the content for your for Monetize Masterminds, you were actually co-creating your landing page. So I'll show you mastermind.org/bebold. Here is Fatima's landing page, and here is Rashida's. So this is a template that we've laid out that includes the major elements of a landing page, a quality landing page. So you see her, the name of her group, her subtitle. Again, all of these were questions that you were asked in the actual Monetize Masterminds forms that you were filling out with each module. When it officially begins, there's a countdown timer there. There's a letter from her. She's naming her tribe, the Bold Visionary. Then there's a subtitle, a letter from her signature, her credibility markers, who this group is for, the 3 major success criteria, what we offer, a testimonial from one of her founding members saying the power of her coaching and being in the group. Then, of course, there's our 30-day proven success cycle that we will adapt for you based on when you're going to be doing your calls, etc. What they're going to get as part of this mastermind group, image or screenshot of the online goal setting system, her weekend, her Be Bold weekend in New York. They're trying to be high end, and they're going to go to some museums. It's going to be 1 day work and 1 day play. So this is beautiful. And then her packages, hers is $9.99 one time or $99 a month. And then it's juxtaposed against her coaching, which is $300 per hour, right? So you can get 3 coaching sessions basically, or you can be with me for the entire year. You choose, okay? Then they apply now. They can send her any questions, and then her money back guarantee and any frequently asked questions, right? So this is her landing page, and all this content, this layout was designed by us, and all this content is pre-populated based on what you put in your forms throughout the various modules. You'll see Rashida, her color is a little bit different. Hers is gold instead of blue, right? But the same layout. Empowered Self Mastermind, subtitle, when it's going to start. Millennials on a Mission is her tribe. Subtitle, a letter from her credibility markers, who this is for, what we offer is almost identical. Her testimonial from Tanya. This space is almost identical. These numbers may be a little bit different. This is identical. Her weekend, she used some of the same pictures because this is reflective of the energy they're both trying to create until you've actually done it for 1 year and have actual pictures, right? And then her packages, Rashida is in Canada, so she's selling in Canadian. And again, similar pricing to Fatima. And send me questions, 100% satisfaction guarantee, and frequently asked questions. So all you have to do is do your homework. If you do your homework, we will be able to create this for you really fast, literally probably 10 to 15 minutes once we get all of the information from you. But you have to do your homework first, right? So whatever power shot you have You want to get that. This is Rashida in a major studio. It just looks like she's doing some high quality premium stuff. For Fatima, she used her power shot of actually leading a group of women, which wasn't actually her mastermind, but she was actually facilitating a small group of women. These women reflect who she wanted in the Be Bold. So we encourage a great power shot here that demonstrates you doing your work at the highest level. So that's the beauty, is we create it for you. There are, we used to give out logins to show people, so let people go in and make adaptations, but not everybody is as tech savvy in terms of WordPress. So this is, for example, how you change Fatima's background image. This is how you add Rashida's headshot to the page. But in fact, we're just going, once we get all the data and information from you, we will put up the landing page on our website for you. And eventually we're going to be featuring all of you in your mastermind groups so that people can actually join you based on visitors who come to our site. They see your mastermind and they're like, oh, that mastermind is near me and it looks like a fit. And this person is coaching on what I actually want in my life. Ultimately, we're going to be featuring your groups. So until we automate this, we are taking responsibility for it. You just have to do your homework and finish the modules. This will give us all the information and data we need to actually plug and play and create your landing page. Other options, if you want to own it on your own website, is ClickFunnels, WordPress, Lead Pages, and Thrive Themes. These are the other options that we have for you. This is a WordPress website with a particular theme. I don't know the name of the theme off the top of my head, but you can also use ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, or Thrive Themes if you have those as well. Okay. Whew. So that is module 4. This is all about automating your mastermind so that all you are focusing on is your team huddle at the beginning of the month, your halftime call, and then your online coaching. That is where your prime energy should be. That's actually 2 hours of being on call or webinar. Halftime, you might do a little prep in terms of you getting mentally right. So that's another 15 minutes. You think about your team huddle, right? You have to do a teaching, or we encourage you to do a teaching on there, and that might take 30 minutes to an hour of prep. So that's 1, 2, 3 hours and 15 minutes, and then online coaching, 30 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour per week. So that's about 7 to 8 hours, right? And if you have 20 people in your group paying $99, that's 8 hours of work, but you're actually getting paid $2,000 for that. And if you leverage that out, that is probably what, $225 per hour or something like that. Which is a great rate, and sometimes in some ways greater, for some people, greater than what they can get on an hourly basis. And for some people, it's not quite what they get on an hourly basis, but they just find more joy and fulfillment by leading a group of people rather than telling the same thing to different people one by one by one. All right. So go ahead and get these systems set up. This will make your life so much easier from month to month. They'll take a little bit of time to set them up, but once they're set up, they are ready to go forever and ever and ever. All right. So that is it. Thank you so much. And we will get into module 5 in just a moment.